Welcome to Neuberger Rose Online. I'm David Rose, and I'm here with my partners Stacy Nichols and Joe Neuberger, and we're here to talk about domestic-related offenses. Joe, what's the difference between a domestic-related offense and any other type of criminal offense?
In Canada, there's a category of offenses which are domestic-related. So any assault which occurs within the context of a relationship between two parties, it could be a husband and wife, it could be any familiar contact, so if it's a sibling, an aunt, an uncle, a parent, anything where there is a relationship of trust where they are cohabitating together could be a domestic-related offense. And so in circumstances like that, any allegation of assault or any allegation of a threatening or any other type of behavior like that would be labeled domestic, and it has a whole different set of rules to apply to it.
Stacy, if someone's charged with a domestic-related offense, can they expect a different treatment in court?
Absolutely. There are special teams of Crown attorneys within the Crown Attorney's office that are devoted especially to domestic-related offenses, and that's all they work on. There's also special courts that have been put in place to deal specifically with domestic issues. So it's a very specialized area, probably because of the predominance of domestic-related charges in the criminal law.
Well, Joe, if someone's charged with a domestic-related offense, can they expect to get in the house easily?
Well, it's very difficult, and there's usually two types of categories. There's the one where the spouse calls the police and they sort of want a timeout, and they never thought that this would occur, that their spouse would be charged and they'd be brought in for a bail hearing and their whole lives would be upside down. And in those cases, there may be a genuine effort to reconcile, but it's extremely difficult to get back in because the whole separation occurred on some domestic discord, and the police have separated them, and so have the courts. So it's difficult. It needs consent to the Crown, and in a lot of those cases, it has to be worked out through some form of resolution. There's the other cases where there's really a breakdown in the relationship, and a charge may arise during the course of the two people living together but separated, and it could be because something occurred or because one party wants to gain an advantage in the family court proceedings and lays the charge. And in those instances, the person who's charged, they're out of their home, their life is upside down, their children are there, and they want to get back in, but it's exceptionally difficult, if not unadvisable, to even seek a return to the house in those circumstances.
Well, Stacy, if someone appears in a domestic-related court, as we've discussed, what type of things will they expect in court?
Well, usually on the first appearance, if you're charged with a domestic-related offense, you can expect to go in and have what's called, a domestic information session, and it's usually led by one of the Crown attorneys who specialize in this area, and they outline to you the different routes that you can take if you're charged with a domestic offense. One of the most popular routes to take is what's called an early intervention program. This is available to people who aren't charged with particularly serious domestic-related offenses. They can enter into what's called the PARS counseling program, which is about 16 sessions, and it deals with domestic-related issues. If they successfully complete that, the person charged can receive a conditional discharge.
Well, they'd have to plead guilty.
They'd have to plead guilty, exactly.
And they wind up with some form of a record. Even a guilty plea is a criminal record, and it has broad-ranging implications.
So, Joe, if someone doesn't want to plead guilty and they want to have a trial, what are the things that you're looking for as a criminal lawyer?
Well, as a criminal lawyer, you have to know where to look for information, which is important in defending the case. And I think what has to be considered is people who are charged with these offenses and sometimes are looking for a quick result don't understand the implications. Even the diversion program that Stacy was speaking about isn't really diversion because they wind up with some finding of guilt. And it's very important to understand what that finding of guilt can have by way of implication in other proceedings, certainly like a family court proceeding. Because what happens frequently in these types of cases is where there's a real dispute between the parties, one of the spouses is trying to use this as leverage in the family court case. And so false allegations and fabrications run rampant in these types of instances. And a defense lawyer needs to know where to look. They need to work with the family law lawyer, and you need a lawyer who's specialized and understands how to cross-examine and get at these types of allegations. And they have to know where to look to find the information necessary to prove their client's innocence.
Thank you. We've been discussing domestic-related offenses here at Neuberger Rose Online. If you have any questions about this type of offense or any other type of criminal inquiry, please visit us at our website, www.nrlawyers.com. Thank you.